Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father, with...
Crystal.
We have an awesome show for you guys and gals lined out for you guys this evening. I have the band Curses on the phone with me right now. They are actually from Bluefield, West Virginia. They have a debut album that is getting ready to hit, and I can't believe this is their actual debut album. To me, I think, you should have had something out previously put to this, but they got a debut album called Chapter 1, Introspect, and we're going to talk to them. It actually comes out tomorrow, January 27th.
Yep.
So,
tomorrow's the big day.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And they just finished up their tour, well, being on tour with Vista Collide, and we're going to be talking to them about that, plus the album and what's going on. So, guys, I'll let you introduce yourself, and welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Davey. I play guitar.
I'm Michael. I play bass.
I'm Shane, and I play drums.
I'm Eli. I'm the vocalist.
And I'm Brandon, and I'm the other vocalist.
Curses formed in early 2014, and ever since you guys have been doing mini tours and also had a slot on your region's Vans Warped Tour. It seems like to me, like I said this previously, it's hard to believe that now is just you're just releasing your debut album. Because to me, it seems like you should have had an album out already. Let's talk about this a little bit, and what's your guys' take on that? Do you guys feel the same way? Because that's how I feel on this.
Well, you're exactly right. It should have been out a long time ago. We recorded it in the summer of 2014, in June. We spent a month in the studio with Taylor Larson in Bethesda, Maryland, and after we tracked the album, it took a while because Taylor was about to do one of Periphery's newer records, and he had to get that out and shit. So after that, there was a lot of technical difficulties, like Taylor's hard drive went out, and he had to figure that out, get the files restored. Luckily, we didn't have to go back and retrack anything or do anything like that. It was all saved. And then we ended up waiting for a guest vocal spot with the dude for a while, and then he ended up just not being able to do it, and that just kind of dragged the process a lot longer. And then once we had all the masters back and everything was set and done, we were like, okay, we got to start shopping this, get it. So we had it thrown up on Revolver. Revolver released the first song, which was Fortune Collapse, is what it was. Then after that, we just took a while. Then we signed with Eminence Records and then set up a deal with them to where we could set a date to release the album and get stuff ready, get pre-order packages and stuff like that. So it was a long process to begin with, but it just ended up being a lot longer.
What was your favorite part of getting to make the album, even though it was that long ago?
I'd say for me personally, because I'd just joined the band kind of a little bit before that. So that was my first time in a professional studio. This is Eli, by the way. Definitely being in the studio is probably one of the most fun parts for me, but also, we took a long time to write the album. We wrote 25 songs total and picked the best 10. So whenever we got to write, we really got to explore with what we wanted to do and what we wanted to make the album, what we wanted the actual sound to be overall. And that was a lot of fun, too, but like I said, for me, it was definitely being in the studio. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd have to say, what we learned in the studio, too, working with Spencer Sotelo, he did the vocal production on it, and working with Taylor, we learned a lot from them musically as well. So we're, a little more seasoned with material moving forward as far as, writing and stuff. And also, we spent a lot of time together, obviously, because when we came into the studio, we'd written 25 songs to pick 10 out of. We'd spent a lot of time together, and, it really developed a bond, so that was one really good part about it.
How was working with producer and engineer Taylor Larson on this? I know you guys, did he just let you guys go on your way about it? Did he step in and say, hey, you need to change this at any point? And also Spencer Sotelo, of course, he's the vocalist of Periphery, but he joined you guys on a track on this. Let's talk about all this a little bit, man.
Well, he did guest vocals on Fortune Collapse for us. The way that it ended up coming about is he was actually just, him and Taylor were friends. And he was just kind of hanging out in the studio while we were there, and, he offered to, give us his vocal production services and whatnot and, help us out. And so we took the offer, and honestly, it was an awesome idea because Spencer's really easy to work with. I feel like Brandon and Eli could probably reflect on that a little better.
Yeah, Spencer was super easy to work with, like Davey said. He was very calm and patient with us the whole time throughout recording all the vocals. But nothing, the music didn't change too much, for all the songs. Taylor would change some of the chord progressions every now and again if he thought something might fit a little bit better, and then Spencer would change some vocal melodies and like the way that the words were placed and stuff. And like it was really cool to see like their minds take our ideas and then just kind of boost them a little bit and give us that help and just being able to like Davey said, it was a big learning process. So we definitely learned a lot about how we want to put songs together and like how songs should be structured a little bit better than we did before. But overall, it was awesome. Taylor and Spencer are both phenomenal musicians, and I'm really glad that we got to have their help. Brandon, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like Spencer, like we were kind of geeking out a little bit about it because I mean, you know, it's Spencer Sotelo, but like he was the most down to earth guy ever, and like he gave lots of helpful advice on like how to place the lyrics, like where to put them, how like harmony should sound. I didn't have any problems with it at all. And, like we had a lot of good times, and you know, we made each other laugh, and I think that, you know, if I may say, like, I had a pretty big crush on him, you know? I had a man crush for him. Like, Vince is my boy.
We're all really big Periphery fans, too, so, like,
Yeah.
one day when he just, like, walked into the studio, we were all kind of like, we were like, holy crap. Scary.
So you guys had, like, a Chris Farley moment when he was interviewing, the dude for the Beatles. Shit. Paul McCartney. Yeah, Paul McCartney.
I suppose so.
Yeah, for Paul McCartney's like, do you know that you're in the Beatles? Yep.
I love Chris.
Are there any particular songs on Introspect that stand out to you more than the others?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For me, this is Brandon, by the way. Definitely The Abandoned, which was one of the last singles that we released. That song is probably the closest to my heart as far as the lyrics go and musically. It's just, for me, growing up, like most of my life, like, I always try to find bands that I could fit in with, find the right clicks and all that. And, like, when I found this band and we've got to work on a full-length album, like, out of all the songs, like, they're all good. But that one right there, for some reason, like, that really seems to click with me the most. And I feel like it's the most important, personally.
Yeah, it's definitely a song that kind of unites us as a group, talking about all of us with our past experiences with other bands and with our families and just life in general, like throughout our adolescence. And
yeah, it's kind of our anthem, really. Like it's kind of like
definitely
because we, all kind of found a home in one another, and that. To me, that's lyrically definitely that's my favorite one because it means the most.
Michael,
personally, my favorite would have to be Outlast as far as lyrically. You know, that one line. We have a line. It's, "Don't lose hope. It's a long road home." That
very true.
Yeah, I mean, it really sits with me, and you know, we all go through shit. Everyone does. There's not a person on the planet who doesn't go through tough shit. You know, you just gotta hold on, be there for one another, and you know, just hold on.
Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. Yeah, work your way past it.
Shane, do you have a favorite? Shane.
Oh, okay. We got 2 Outlast guys and 3 The Abandoned.
Because it's fun to play on drums, for sure.
So, guys, what helps you keep your mind fresh and open to lyrics, guitar riffs, solos, drumming, beats that you've not done before? What helps you guys to say, okay, look, I'm going to spice this up a little bit. Let's see what I can do here outside the box.
If I had to be absolutely 100% honest, like we all listen to different things, so that's one aspect. So we all kind of bring different stuff to the table when we do get together to write. Mm-hmm. But I'd have to be, if I was going to be honest, I'd have to say we all smoke weed. So that's like I'm trying to be like the classic person that says, "Hey, smoking weed helps me write." But honestly,
whenever we all get together now and we can just sit down in our little studio setup and roast a blunt real quick, and then just hang out for maybe 5 minutes or so, and then be like, all right, let's get to it. Let's make some good music. Our minds are just so much more open to things and like not thinking, okay, what if I do this? Oh, that might not sound good. It's like, okay, I'm just going to do it, and then we'll go from there. It's a much quicker process. The music flows through us so much easier because, I mean, as John Lennon says, you don't make the music. You're basically a medium for art in general. That's one thing, one ability we have as humans, I guess I could say. That's just in my words, though. And that kind of it opens you up to that more, to just let it come to you and just kind of go with the flow, and then it all sinks in and then works out, and then you can be really happy with what you've made. And then the more you do it, which, I mean, in our case, the more we've written, it just gets easier and easier because we've worked with each other for so much longer. And whenever we can sit down and have moments like that, that's probably some of the most fun we're probably ever going to have in our lives.
Yeah.
So
it really brings the chemistry out and kind of puts us all on the same wavelengths, too. Like, we're all just kind of like, I mean, we'll sit down, you know, after we smoked or something, and, you know, I'll be writing a guitar riff, and someone else might throw their own perspective on the guitar part. So we all kind of influence each other's writing on their own instrument, you know. So it's kind of more of a collective effort, I suppose. And another thing, one thing I'd like to add, if I am high, writing music, I will be, yeah. We're not trying to dwell on that or anything, but I will sit down and I will pick apart riffs that I've written down to like single notes. And the guys have seen me do it before, and it gets kind of old because I'll sit for like an hour, you know, almost wasting everyone's time, just changing a couple notes, you know, that you almost don't even hear the difference. But it just makes me more analytical, I suppose, is what I'm saying.
I want to know how much growth you feel like you guys have gone through as a band since the beginning.
Exponential. Yeah. Like, I'd say in the past year and a half, 2 years, all of us as people and as musicians have changed, like, phenomenally. Like, I mean, I couldn't even begin to, like, encapsulate, like, you know, exact examples and whatnot, but I don't know. 2 years ago, yeah, I wouldn't have imagined I'd be, like, right here, you know, so...
All right, guys, what do you hope the fans take away from this debut album once they start to digest this and start to listen to it, man? What do you hope that they get?
I guess to be different for different people, but, like, I don't know. Yeah, peace of mind, definitely. Music helps with that a lot. And, I don't know, for me, music does a lot of things for me. It inspires me to be better at music, so I hope it does that for people who also play music. It gets you through hard times. I mean, music's done that for me, and I hope our album can do that for some people too. And like anybody else has.
I think like when people come to us at shows and like tell us that our message is like on point, and like we find people that are kind of like lost, like how we were. That's what the whole music process.
We're still pretty.
We're still finding our way. We aren't like entitled to say that we know what we're talking about, but we've been there a lot, and we know what it's like and how hard life can be.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like when people can tell us that, you know, they can connect to that, that's the most important thing about this whole process. That's one of the main reasons why I feel like I'm doing this, is to help other people.
As far as a takeaway for me, I mean, the same things that they said. Absolutely. But also, like they said, relatability. Like, I want people to be able to find something to relate to and, you know, give them peace of mind. But also, something that I think a lot of people don't think about is that anyone can create art. Like, and I think everyone should, you know, to some degree. It doesn't matter whether it's considered good or bad by other people. It's what it does for you personally.
Right.
And so you shouldn't write music for others. You should write it for yourself and for what you're going through at the time, or to reflect who you are as a person at the time, or to ask questions you want to ask. And so I feel like everyone should make art, and they absolutely can. And I see a lot of people doubt themselves. I mean, I've been there too. I sat, you know, years ago as a kid trying to learn how to play guitar, and I was like, man, I'm just kind of jamming, but I'm never going to take this anymore. And look at me now. We've toured the country together, and you could have told a 14-year-old baby that he'd be doing this right now, and he wouldn't have believed you. So everyone starts somewhere, and everyone can create, and I think they all should.
I agree.
So don't make
How much local support have you guys seen, and do any local radio stations air your music?
Oh, well,
Sid in West Virginia ain't too keen on heavy metal like ours. So, yeah, I have not. I don't think we've been
I'm from Beckley.
Oh, you're from Beckley?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Wait, is this who I think it is? Wait, is this the same Crystal that...
Yeah, she's going to be at the Salson party this weekend.
We had no idea. Holy crap. Well, hello, Crystal. We'll see you in a couple of days. Whoa! I remember you mentioned something about you were going to be interviewing us soon, and then like I was like, oh really? And then like, because when we get interviews and stuff, we usually get it like the day or two before, you know, and like it's kind of scheduled for us, and then we like make the phone call and so. That's awesome. Hell yeah. So you know exactly what we're dealing with. Like we don't really get any radio play. And the music scene it's coming back around here. It's trying. I mean, especially like the metal scene. Like it's small, but it's tight knit. Everybody's a community. Yeah. And that's one thing I really like about our local scene.
On the same team. Like there's no bands down here that have beef that I know of anyways. And that's what I like. I hate whenever we go on tour, and then bands, like mostly local bands, they'll treat it like such a competition, and that's stupid. That is so stupid.
Yeah,
we're all trying to do the same thing. You got to help each other out if you really want to do anything. Yeah.
Well, you got total support on here with your stuff, so I mean, I'll definitely play you from day till dawn, or till whatever for you guys. So that's for sure.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
What can fans expect at a show from you guys when they get to come out to see Curses play live? And I know Chris will get to see you guys this weekend, and I was going to say that I definitely like your guys' stage present for sure.
I don't know if I speak the rest of the band, but I mean, if anyone comes to a Curses show, they're going to see a lot of flailing instruments and arms and just a lot of jumping around.
Organized chaos.
Yeah, organized chaos. Perfect. That's it right there. 2 words, organized chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Write that down. Like, you need to remember that. But yeah, I mean, as far as coming out to the show, the most important thing for us, honestly, even like playing tight, is the energy from the crowd. If we can get that energy feedback, because we always give energy, but if we receive it back from the audience, and it builds and builds. Yeah, you cannot replace that feeling. Like it's addictive. Like so, I would say that's something that you can really expect. Is like it's almost like the crowd and the band are like feeding off each other. It's like a feedback loop or something. It's really cool.
And like this isn't really like we're not local there technically, but like we do play in Johnson City, Tennessee a lot, and around Bristol and the Tri-Cities a lot. We've pretty much always played there pretty frequently for a long time. And the kids down there, they're all so awesome. Like I wouldn't even call them fans or anything, because they're like, it's pretty much the same thing. Everybody's friends there. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah, we know everyone's names.
Yeah, and everybody's just so nice and supportive. They always have been, and we love it down there too.
Do you guys prefer working on music individually or getting together to work on new material?
Together by far. I might write some riffs, like just hanging out in my bedroom or something.
Yeah, and I write lyrics by myself too sometimes.
Because that stuff takes a while. But I absolutely prefer having all of us present to write, because like I said, we all influence one another's individual instruments even. There's a couple chord progressions on some new stuff that we've tracked with Taylor that Eli, wrote, and it's this, there's a couple breakdowns and stuff that we've influenced on each other, and drum beats, and so it just goes on and on.
We try not to see Curses as 5 individual points of Curses. It's a unit. We don't try to individualize anything if we can help it. We're a group of guys playing music, just trying to keep on playing.
If I had to put like a label on it, like when we write, at least I would like to call it an intersection of consciousnesses. Like it's like this singular voice that we all bring together. And that's why we like to write together. We used to a long time ago, we used to kind of write more separately. Like me and Shane would kind of write like song skeletons and stuff, and then Brandon and Eli would put their vocals to it, and then we'd all get together and pick it apart from there. But recently, the best thing has absolutely been all of us being together. Like that's the best.
Yeah, totally. And like I've like noticed a lot of bands, like, and there's nothing wrong with this. Like a lot of bands, like, there's one key member that brings the band together, and then that's who writes most of the music, and everyone else is just basically performers, which is like cool if that's like what that band does, but like that's definitely not what we do.
Not our
like,
system.
We're total, like we all write together. If one member of the band left and we replaced them with somebody twice as good, even, then it still wouldn't come out the same. It would not be Curses anymore, really.
Yeah.
So in your guys' opinion, what does Curses bring to the table for music that's not out there right now?
One thing that I really often see other people reflect on, something that I don't really think we notice too much when we are writing, but a lot of people, Brandon listens to a lot of heavier music, like death metal, deathcore, what have you. And he's got a really low register scream, so that's something we kind of bring a heavier flavor of metalcore to the table. That's something that I don't really see too much of it. We've got a lot of our choruses are pretty poppy and catchy and whatnot, and then you got Brandon, who's like almost on the other end of the spectrum with his vocals. He's almost like a deathcore vocalist in a metalcore band, so it's like it kind of gives a cool spin on it.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot, like people say, like when we're on the road and stuff, that not really people have said, but like what I've noticed is that we've got a lot of people can like us, because like Davey said, Brandon definitely brings the heavy part of it into it a lot, and that kind of helps bring kids that don't even listen to metalcore, because a lot of people fucking hate metalcore nowadays, and I guess with that heavier part, they're acting retarded behind me. It's hard to focus. I'm sorry. But yeah, Brandon brings that side, so that kind of opens up a bigger fan base for us with that side of the metal genre, and then Davey will write some sick ass solos and some stupid sweepy leads and stuff, and then that brings the kids who just bands that shred a bunch. That's what brings that, and then with my vocals, when I do cleans and stuff, like Davey said, it's pretty poppy sometimes, and a lot of people can still dig it. I mean, they might listen to a whole song and be like, oh my god, that's way too heavy, I don't like that. But if they just listen to the chorus, they might just think it's just a heavy rock song,
What made each of you want to become a musician?
Just listening to music a lot for me. I'd always, when I would listen to a band, I would look a lot into them, and I would really respect them for it. And then that just made me want to be like, oh, I want to play guitar now. I want to play drums now. I want to do this because of this person and stuff. And just the influence thing that I was talking about earlier.
I mean, I don't think Michael here, I don't think I can speak for everyone, but I mean, for me, myself, growing up, I found I guess you would call a safe space, and listening to music, my favorite bands at the time, or whoever I may have looked up to at the time. And, growing up, I found that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be there, no matter if I saw it or not, someone may be listening, and it may be helping anybody.
Pretty much the same as Eli when it came to right around the time I started listening to bands, the question finally just came up, why don't I just do this myself?
Make it yourself. What about you, Brandon?
Well, okay. So Brandon here. Honestly, I think for me, I always was into just metal and whatnot in general growing up. You don't find a whole lot of people that'll, click to that kind of genre of music. And as I grew older, I kind of realized that, there are other people just like me that have the same aspirations that I do. And, I found this band that gave me a chance. Originally, I used to be a guitarist in any band I was ever in. All my local bands, I was always the guitarist, which I love playing guitar. That's my favorite instrument. But I was always like, what would it be like to be a guitarist? Or not a guitarist, a vocalist. And I got lucky, and the band that decided to give me a chance is the band that I've been with for years, and we're just trying to climb that ladder and make a name for it.
For me personally, I can actually tell you the moment that I decided to pick up a guitar, and I was a 6th grade little angsty kid, and I was at the middle school talent show, and I saw this guy play guitar at the talent show, and everybody was freaking out over it, and for some reason I was like, that looks like a lot of fun. And so I decided to pursue guitar, and since then, my motives and what I found, I just got lucky and stumbled upon something that is honestly, in my opinion, saved my life. And it just kind of escalated from there. Like I said, my motives have changed. What draws me to it has changed. But the thing that caused me to uncover it and give it a shot was watching this talent show play guitar, and I just thought it looked like a lot of fun, and well, here I am now.
I know you guys mentioned earlier that you like to connect with the fans and everything at the shows because you feed off of each other. But what's it mean to you guys when you receive an email from a fan, or prior to your shows or after your shows? They come up to you and they tell you guys that your music has pulled them through a bad experience, gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just gave them, the time to relax, to escape the everyday bullshit that we go through. What's that mean to you guys?
That's why we do it. That's why we do it too. So we're like, we understand. We're like, hey, we get it. Yeah. And that's probably probably the most primary reason we even do this.
Because we still happen to do it. I mean, hell, when I'm sad and I find a song that I relate to a lot, then I'll jam that song like 10 times that week or whatever, and it still helps me, and it's always going to. It's what music's there for. It's not like we're at this point to where we're above that now, and we're gonna just be the top dogs, be those guys that are helping, and just those guys. No, we're still just on the other side of the spectrum.
There's actually a lyrical line on one of our songs that we recorded. It's new, and Eli wrote it, and it's we all need help, and everybody needs help. There's not a time in anybody's life when they don't need something to fucking lean on, and music.
I want to say the whole line. When you're faced with your own reflection, let intuition give direction, because I know it's hard, I know it's hell, we all need love, we all need help.
Yeah, that encapsulates it right there. That's why we do it. It's for ourselves, and it's also for the people who can come to us and relate to it and vibe with it and help them through hard times as well.
I'd just like to say thanks for your music. Everything that I've found of you guys, I've been getting my hands on to listen to, and it's grown on me a lot, so I really appreciate what you guys have done so far.
Well, hey, thank you for interviewing us, giving us this opportunity to sit and chat and, talk about what drives us, what makes us get out of bed in the morning, and, and jamming our stuff. That's wonderful.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Saturday.
We're really shocked. When I realized that it was you, interviewing us as well, I was like, whoa!
Guys and gals,
awesome.
Tomorrow,
all right.
January the 27th, Chapter 1 Introspect by the band Curses comes out. I suggest you guys and gals go pick this up, either buy the digipack of it or buy the actual CD. Do whatever you can to help these guys out. How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy the merchandise, find out when you're on tour again? How can they do that, guys?
Facebook's the primary medium, because we post pretty much anything that is going on there. But also, honestly, our personal pages, feel free to add us on Facebook. We'll talk to you if you message us. But we post a lot of stuff of what we're doing in the process. If we're in the studio, we'll all post little clips.
If there's anything new that is up online that we need to do, like recently the LP Collective did a little playlist, and it was just stuff that we listened to when we were on the road. And then that got thrown up, so we're like, okay, we're gonna all share that now. It's just something that we always do. Anything band related that gets thrown up that's new that we haven't seen or that we know nobody else has seen, then that's when we're pretty consistent about posting about the band. I honestly wouldn't have social media if it wasn't for the band. That's pretty much all I use it for.
Yeah, too much stress. But just to add to that, as far as the album goes and the music, iTunes, Google Play, Bandcamp, Merch Now, eventually Spotify. It'll eventually be up on Spotify, but it is not now, and it'll be a little while. But yeah, well, I hate to be that guy that harps about it, but the sales that we make in the first week will literally determine the rest of our year and our opportunities that we are given in the future. So if we hit a home run on that, we'll be able to grow even more and do even more with it. So that's really important.
We're not trying to be those guys that are just oh, hey, buy this album, buy it. I don't give a shit if you listen to it on Spotify. But if you want to help us, get somewhere and actually support us, then that would be definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, because it's not to us. It's not about. It's not about money. It's not about popularity.
We don't even see all the money that's going to be sold for the album.
Yeah,
so, that's definitely not the case.
Yeah. Hey, it's about being able to continue this and continue to do what drives us.
Before I let you go, would you guys care to do a promo for the show?
Yeah, sure. Hello, this is Davey from Curses, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. I want to thank my lovely co-host,
Crystal.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.
So long, guys. Thank you so much.